Everybody, thanks for all the engagement. Sherman here, leaving a legacy by positively impacting people. I want to do a little bit of a recap here today and address some of I want to have a larger commentary for myself in regards to some of the posts that Gary Vee has out there on Instagram. One of the posts was about complaining. And I think about complaining and just the wasted energy, the wasteful thoughts, and ultimately what it does mentally, it just puts a stopper in your mind to stop thinking forward about those actions. So oftentimes that thought that you have, because you're complaining about it, actually doesn't lead you to a solution. It actually has you dwell on the negative and the impossibility or the improbability of certain circumstances happening. And so there's really no value in you complaining. It reminds me of excuses, the old saying, excuses are like buttholes, everyone's got them and they all stink. That is true. And the other thing is that nobody really wants to hear you complain or whine about your life. I remember one time I was in the Philippines, and I remember walking near like a railroad track. People lived right near these railroad tracks, and there was someone literally, no legs, pushing himself on a wooden like square that had these tiny little wheels on it, and he lived near a railroad. Made me realize that no matter what happened in my life, could never be that bad. And so remember that although the struggles that you might be going through are difficult and unique for you, they don't really make you that much more unique than anybody else that's going through some different struggles. The other post that he had up was about results. Very true. When it comes to your value in business and in the marketplace, you're only good as your last at bat. I said the same thing comes to parenting. We want to be seen as someone that's always giving value to the kids, but I can't say at the age of 16, well, remember I used to change your diapers? That's the value I gave you. Because that 16-year-old really doesn't give a crap about what you did, pun intended, 15, 16 years ago. There's no value there for him or her to see that in you, because you're only as good as what you just last delivered. And ultimately, results will matter, and knowing if you've had any value long term. The last one that he had posted up was about how we're ingrained within ourselves who we are. I think what he was kind of ultimately getting at was the unique thing that the video is actually a fan V by Isaac. I'm going to totally butcher his name. It's like Tararak or something like that. Anyway, so he posted up this fan video, and it's about Gary talking several years ago about how he is who he is. That's not going to change. And that's true. All the money, all the fame, the recognition, the speaking engagements, what he's doing personally hasn't changed him at all. And I think what it comes down to at the pillar of who he is he knows ultimately where he stands on a whole multitude of different things for himself. And a lot of times you read that in self-help books, principle-based, value-based, living. And so what you're trying to get down to your core is, what are the things that you value most in your character that you want to be able to make sure stand no matter what happens in time, right? No matter what fame comes to you, no matter what wealth, no matter what poverty, no matter what humdrum might be there, in all the ups and downs and the platitudes of life. Let's call those plateaus. I don't know if that's even platitudes I've heard of, but I don't know if I'm using the right context. Anyway, whatever. This is raw. This is just how it's coming. You either like it or you don't. I really don't care. I care, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where it comes down to. I think for each of us, we need to find that part of our lives where we know exactly who we are. Okay, so if I know that I'm a nice person, and someone says to me, "You're not a nice person," I know that doesn't matter. Like, I really don't care about their opinion in that regard. They might say, "Oh, well, you're abusive to your children." No, that's not true. Like, you haven't seen me beat the crap out of my kids. That doesn't happen, right? So, I think once you get to that point, self-awareness, self-actualization, you. Then you be you. And that's the authentic person of who you are, and that's not going to change. Have a fantastic day, everybody.